Recently, I saw this video from Tom FM where he put the highest potential Wonder Kids all in one team. And that got me thinking, what if we did the opposite? What if we put the lowest potential under 21 players all on Manchester City and see how they did? So here I have assembled the worst potential players who are 21 years old or younger in Football Manager 2024. For example, we have Zane Liu, the 20-year-old Singaporean, who has a potential ability of 8. And that potential ability might even be on the higher end, as Mud Yunus, the 18-year-old Bruneian, has a potential ability of 6. So with that in mind, I have assembled an entire squad and put them on Manchester City. Then I'm going to simulate 5 seasons into the future to see what the worst potential team does in Football Manager. But to add a little bit more excitement to this challenge, in 5 seasons, this team is likely going to get relegated, going down from the Prem to the Championship to League 1, League 2, and probably ending in the Vanarama National League in 5 seasons. In that time, I would be surprised if this club wins even one match, considering there isn't a whole lot of room for these Wonder Kids to improve. So, in the course of this 5-season simulation, if the worst potential team wins one competitive match, I am going to do 100 push-ups. And if you've watched any videos on this channel, you probably know push-up challenges usually do not end well for me. But we'll see if this one ends up any different. So taking a little bit more of an in-depth look at the squad here, this is what the squad looks like. And for whatever reason, most of the low potential players in Football Manager seem to come from Brunei. But we also have a few English players, we have a Chinese player from Hong Kong, 2 players from India, and then some people from Malaysia and Singapore. And just FYI, these are all real people within the game. These are not new gens. As you guys can see here, Christian Dawson, 18-year-old Englishman, who unfortunately doesn't look very good in the game. And if we look at his player attributes, current ability of a 2, potential ability of 6. This goes the same for most of the Bruneian players here, who also seem to take up about half the team. Even someone like Soprano Masri here. This is a real player who, honestly, he's got some like 13 pace and 12 finishing. He's not the worst player in the world, but current ability is 5. He doesn't have a whole lot to improve upon either. So the real question is, what kind of tactic do you play for the worst potential team in FM24? We're going with a simple 4-5-1 here with essentially no instructions. And the hope that at some point during the 5 seasons, maybe they'll pull out a victory. It's tough to really instruct a team when, frankly speaking, none of the players are really good at anything. But we have 5 seasons to get through. And there's going to be competitive matches in the Prem, the Championship, but there's also going to be the FA Cup, potentially the FA Trophy. And the question is, once this team gets down to maybe League 2 or the Vanarama National League, can this team put a W in any single match and force me to do 100 push-ups as a result? Well, things got off to a bad start in Season 1 for our lowest potential team. In the league, after 38 matches, they had 0 wins, 0 draws, and had allowed 441 goals. And a side that played in the Community Shield, the UEFA Super Cup, the Prem, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup, the Club World Championship, and the FA Cup, there was an astounding 0 wins. The worst loss of the season came in a 23-0 away loss to Aston Villa, and a match where they had 69 shots and 15 XG. Despite hopes that things might get better in Season 2, once again, there were 0 wins in a 46-game season, but this time there was some improvement as the team only allowed 379 goals. The results were a little bit better compared to last season, but once again, the squad failed to win a game during the season. There were signs of improvement though. as this team did win a non-competitive match in a friendly 2-0 against Hume City, a semi-professional team in Australia. And while this win doesn't count for this challenge, it does give hope that they could win in seasons 3, 4, or 5. It was more of the same though in season 3 for our lowest potential team. Once again, there were 0 wins in 46 matches, but there was continued improvement, having only allowed 317 goals. The closest that this team had come to winning in a competitive match was the Club World Championship Group F and a 3-2 loss to Wellington Olympic. The semi-professional side from New Zealand probably represented the best chance that this team had of winning a match during this simulation. But there were new competitions that the team was in that could potentially yield wins, including the Bristol St. Motors Trophy Northern section, which in the first match was a 5-0 loss to Wrexham. Indeed, the rest of the season yielded loss after loss after loss. It was hard to say that there was any player who was truly a star on this team. But after contributing 2 goals and actually being above his XG, Ching Q was perhaps the best player on this squad. And he did have some excellent attributes. 10 dribbling, 10 first touch, 7 pace. That's not bad for a 12 current ability player who had now reached his full potential. The question was, could this team win a match in Season 4? The answer was unequivocally no, they could not. However, they were getting closer to potentially winning a match. The closest they came was a 2-1 loss to Tranmere in the league. And there was significant improvement compared to last season. They had scored 19 goals, the first season with double-digit goals, and had only allowed 235 goals. With one more season left, they might win a match. There was even a new star at the helm, as Raja Helmi, the 23-year-old Singaporean, had scored 6 goals this season, and actually had some pretty decent attributes. He was playing at his full potential at a 12 current ability. Could he potentially lead this squad to a victory? Alright, I am coming in though to intervene here at the end of Season 4. And the reason I'm intervening is I do want to give this squad the best possible chance of winning one game, even though I don't want to have to do 100 push-ups. So what I'm doing here is I'm slightly changing the tactic here so it's closer to the Football Manager meta, just in the hope that it might give them a better chance to win one match. And as you guys can see here, the dynamics are really poor. So what I'm going to do for the next season is I'm going to go into the editor here, and just to give them the best possible chance, I'm going to change everyone's morale to perfect. So if I go back into tactics here, you guys can see the morale is as high as it's possibly can be. I'm going to keep doing that throughout the last season, just to give this squad the best chance of winning a match. Will it work? Let's see what happens. In the opening match of Season 5, the lowest potential team lost 2-0 in the Vanarama National League's opening match. And results were improving. A 1-0 loss to Yeovil represented one of the best opportunities they had to win a match. The squad was even finding ways to score goals, and they actually had a lead away from home to Chorley and the FA Trophy, although they did end up losing. But could they find a way to win a match? In the league, they did not. 0 wins in 46 matches. But there were still cup competitions that they could potentially win in, but at the end of Season 5, the team had failed to win once again. Well, we assembled the lowest potential team in Football Manager, and over the course of 5 seasons, even though most of them did develop to reach their potential abilities, they were not able to lead Man City to one single win. The closest the team came was actually in the Club World Championship. This 3-2 loss to Wellington Olympic was the closest they came to potentially getting a win, but otherwise it was losses throughout, which is good for me. For once in one of these challenges, I don't have to do push-ups. This is the first challenge I've not had to do a push-up in. I did want to do this in the kind of English divisions because seeing them get relegated had the potential for them to improve throughout the years. But it would also be interesting to take the lowest potential team and put them in a lower reputation league, maybe a smaller league in Asia or North America, and see how they might do there. So if you guys like to see that, let me know. But otherwise, this is the lowest potential team assembled all into one squad. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.